Well, hello there. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I'm John. It's been a while. I don't even know how long, right? Couple of weeks. Seems like a couple of weeks. I don't know. We're going to be talking about total chaos this morning, couple of different topics. But again, it's been a while. And I just wanted to explain real quick because people have been reaching out. Where you hit with the hurricane, we got clipped. My area got clipped, but Western North Carolina pretty much got destroyed. And that's several hours away. So we got a lot of rain. We got down trees and stuff like this, power outages here and there. But it's been a while because, quite frankly, I'm not in love with the internet, and that's me being politically correct, folks. Can y'all believe it, son? I don't like the internet. Never really have. Since the web TV days, I began to see people getting sucked into this world that's not actually real. And please don't take that personally. I love y'all because you folks are real people out there. It's just the internet itself. It's a time suck and a huge waste of time. Matter of fact, I wrote this down: 7 hours and 3 minutes a day. That's the average amount of screen time for the average American, which to me is ridiculous. How much can you actually accomplish in life if you weren't not on the internet for that 7 hours and 3 minutes a day? You can get a lot more stuff done. So occasionally I'll step away from the internet for a couple of weeks. I've done this since I began the channel, before it was Prepper Nation. All the old videos, in case you're interested in that. And made the mistake this time of stepping away and enjoying it a little too much. So I'm going to stay stepped away. Of course, I'm going to upload content from now, here and there and stuff like this. But as far as a YouTube creator goes, I'm as part-time can get. And I'm doing this willingly. I'm not that creator. I've said this before, and teach their own. I'm not bashing anybody, but I'm not that creator that every time something incremental happens in the news, I've got to immediately grab my phone, upload it for clicks, and give my, 2 cents. I don't stay connected to the internet in that way. I really don't. And I couldn't, because I would be miserable trying to do that. So, again, to each their own. But anyway, that's why there hasn't been a lot of content hitting, and it's going to be very sporadic moving forward. So again, chaos. We're seeing a lot of it, right? I'm not going to get into the vice presidential debates. I did watch some of it last night, and Vance destroyed, Kamala's pick. So Vance destroyed him. I mean, it's not even really worth talking about. I'm talking about different chaos. And I'm in America, in case you folks don't know. Most of the viewers are in America as well, but we do have people watching from other countries, according to the analytics, right? So this may not apply to you as much, but it's still going to apply to you if you're outside the country. The port strikes would be the first thing that I want to talk about. Again, excuse me, when real stuff is happening, not, oh my God, this might happen, or oh my God, this might happen. Click here, look here. I need the views, this sort of thing. Y'all know how it is. It's like and man, again, I'm not trying to bash anybody. I've spoken with a lot of creators behind the scenes, and some of them are really, really cool, right? But the rest of them, it's like a traveling carnival. It is. You ever been to a carnival? Rambling, right? You ever been to a carnival and the carnies are just hollering at you, man? They got the crooked barrels on the rifles, and they got the goldfish that you can win every time, but half of them are floating on top, and they got the ZZ Top glass mirrors and stuff throwing darts. These people, this is what some of the creators here in the prepping community remind me of. It's a traveling carnival every single day, it seems like. And it's, I just don't want any part of the carnival. I've never been fond of carnivals to begin with. But anyway, this is a real issue. The major ports, there are 14 of them. And they're on strike. Their three biggest demands they want, I believe, I've heard two different numbers. I've heard 70% and 77%. Either one would be, whichever one is accurate, right, would be over a 6-year period that they want this broken down. We'll go 70% because that's what I've heard at most mainstream media news outlets. 70% wage increase. And it's really sad because I listen to they always interview the local union leaders. And the union leaders are saying the same thing. They're saying, Joe Biden is a great president. He's a great president for our union. He's the guy. They're beating the drum for Joe Biden and his administration. And then a couple of minutes later, they will tell the reporter, well, we need a 70% increase because we can't afford to live because things cost too much and the economy's out of hand. And I'm sitting here thinking, the same president that you were just championing was responsible for crashing the economy that you are complaining about right now. So, it's kind of like pick a lane. Is he a good president because he says he loves unions, or is he a bad president because your stuff costs twice as much? So anyway, they're on strike because of that. Pensions was the number 2 thing. And gotta love these people, man. I get where the heart's at. But pensions are like blue moons. You don't see them very often anymore here in the United States. You take a look at the way our workforce has evolved, and it's different. It's different than it was in the 70s or the 60s or the 80s. There are not a lot of jobs offering great pensions anymore. They might eventually get close to a 70% increase. I don't know. They might eventually get some sort of offer for a pension package. Again, I don't know. But the third thing that they are asking for is, I think it's a non-negotiable with the owners of the ports. So the owners of the ports, by and large, are foreign-based. They're not even here in the United States, for those that didn't know. And the third sticking point for this union is they want no automation whatsoever in this industry. They want everything, they want to ensure that they have a job 10, 20 years from now. The issue is a lot of these ports and these companies, these ownership groups, they've already invested hundreds of millions of dollars into automation at these ports. It's already there. Some of it's there. And I think these people realize, okay, we're not going to have a job in 10 years. We got to get this automation out of here. But again, these companies are not going to do that. They're not going to waste that type of money. You cannot stop technology. Getting back to the internet, right? You can't stop it. Whether it's for good or for bad, Skynet has been activated. We've got zombie drones on their phones all the time, constantly connected to social media, constantly connected to the news. We've got AI, which is fast tracking everything at this point. Many jobs in many industries are not going to exist in 10 years. And although I feel bad for the people that work at these docks because I think they're coming to the realization we're going to be out of a job. You're not alone. Truck drivers eventually will be out of a job. They're working on trucks that drive themselves, because this is cost effective. I think personally, the education system, a lot of that is going to be automated at some point. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to be automated. The automotive industry, for example, these plants and things, many people are going to lose jobs. That's just the way it is. We're undergoing, because of tech and because of AI, in my opinion, it's like we're undergoing another industrial revolution, if you will. So that's something to keep an eye on. And because these ports, are on strike, and because the news covered it, and the news, mainstream media, they do what they always do. They're sensationalizing everything. Everything is as bad as it can be 24/7. which is why I highly suggest being informed, but not constantly following the news. Again, I know some creators do it, but they're doing it because they're carnies and they're trying to get the quarters out of your pockets. You are rubes coming through the gates. That's how they view you. Again, other creators are freaking awesome, right? But you, if you're not a creator, you don't really need to be connected to the news 24/7. And I think what happens is where the news is so negative all of the time and it's gloom and doom, some people are addicted to that and they just can't turn the news off. The problem is, okay, we've got hoarding going on right now here in the United States of America that does not need to be happening. So there are 14 major ports that, they're on strike. They're totally shut down. The only thing that we are going to see immediately because of that port shutdown is produce. Produce lasts a couple weeks tops. The stuff is not going to last in shipping containers. It's produce. I think the two biggest things they're saying are bananas and cherries that are imported produce wise. You're still going to see a lot of produce that's grown here in the United States, just certain things. So this is really the only thing people need to be concerned with. If you're a banana lover from way back, okay, go hoard you some bananas, right? But they're only going to last for a little while. I've heard a lot of people talking about hoard up that canned food. You really don't need to. We have warehouses filled with canned food here in the United States, 2 years plus shelf life. All right, so it's going to be there for a while unless people start to hoard it, and that's the issue. Long term, auto parts, not just to repair your own vehicle and taking it to a garage, but I'm talking about also, the big companies that produce vehicles, they're going to run out of parts to work with. There are a lot of that stuff's here in the United States now, but eventually that stockpile is going to run out. Electronics, medications, and many other consumer goods. But of course, I woke up this morning, turned the news on, what I see. Costco is now saying that people are hoarding toilet paper. We're back to toilet paper. Remember the beginning of the pandemic? Everybody hoarded toilet paper. Nobody knew why. They just did it because other people were doing it. It's a hoarding mentality. It's done out of panic. They're hoarding toilet paper and bleach. These are the two things. And people are on social media saying, man, I've driven 40 miles. I've hit 12 different stores and I can't find a roll of toilet paper to save my life. This is the kind of stuff like this problem is created by hoarding. The toilet paper not being on the shelves is not created by the dock strikes. Okay. Let me just level with you. It's not created by striking workers. It's created by mainstream media beating that fear drum and people seeing it and rushing out and doing what the news tells them they should do. Which is why short-term hoarders, I think, are actually going to be a bigger problem than the people that are striking at the docks. Now, again, long-term, if we're still here in April or May and they're still on strike, okay, then we've got issues. Then at that point, it's time to start thinking very strategically about what you're shopping for. But right now, I mean, Christmas, for example, most of the Christmas stuff, news calls it seasonal holiday stuff, whatever, like 70% of it is already here. It's already been unloaded. It's already in stores, the back of stores, things like this. So, I mean, I don't understand this hoarder mentality. I've never really understood it. I mean, even during the pandemic, folks, stuff was still there, minus the toilet paper. We didn't run into a famine. The supply chain was completely broken. So total chaos. That's number one. Let's get into the second thing here. And, we got to talk about what's going on in the Middle East. Total chaos, right? That's what's going on. So Israel, I guess they've been broken. Like they've dealt with random rockets being fired into their country. Now you can take whichever side you want. I really don't care. I'm not taking a position. I'm just saying from Israel's standpoint, I think that they're just tired of having random rockets fired, in and people coming in and gliders and kidnapping and stuff like this. And something just snapped with Israel. They're sick of it. I mean, they're laying waste to the people that perpetuate this stuff. So they've invaded, boots on ground, Lebanon. And supposedly, according to the news this morning, they're doubling their troop strength on the ground, rolling tanks, things like this in Lebanon. In response, because Iran is they're tight knit with Lebanon and not exactly very friendly toward Israel to begin with. Yesterday, they fired 180 ICBMs into Israel, and this is how you're watching propaganda. Okay, so as I was watching these reports yesterday, because it's a big deal. Big deal. I turned the news on. I'm not going to sit there and watch it 24/7 though. I ain't nobody got time for that, son. Or at least I don't. I guess some people do. So the news anchors, I think I was watching it on DW, which is German. I try not to watch just Fox and CNN, right? Try and get it from various places. But anyway, they were talking about how the Iron Dome took out a large percentage of what was coming in it. And as they're saying this, they're showing video footage in real time that they had taken over here, and you can see where the Iron Dome was failing to hit most of this stuff. Most of these ICBM ballistic missiles were hitting in Israel while the news anchor was telling you the Iron Dome was handling business. The Iron Dome was completely overwhelmed by these missiles. So major escalation, major escalation. Netanyahu came on TV and he basically said we're living in a historical time because this is the end days of Iran as a nation. I mean, that's a huge statement. You know what I'm saying? They're going to retaliate at some point, and it's going to be very severe. Keep an eye on that region for a couple of different reasons. The biggest right now, the most immediate right now, is oil prices. I don't know what gas is costing y'all right now, but I know a lot of oil moves, through the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, and these countries already like to harass the oil tankers and the oil ships and things that move through here. It would not take a lot. Let's just say it would not take a lot of money. It would not take a significant military presence by Iran, for example, or one of their allies to harass it to the point where we had to reroute everything. All of the oil that's coming out, 1.74 million barrels per day move through the Suez Canal, if I'm not mistaken. So in order to reroute it one way, it takes 45 days to get around the canal and 45 days back. So you're talking 90 additional days. Plus, these companies have to take out massive insurance policies in case the ships get sunk. So they're going to have to pay a lot more, I believe, and they're going to have to extend their shipping times 90 days. So that cost is going to be passed off eventually to the consumer. So I do think we're going to see spikes in gas, in oil prices and things like that, heating oil and stuff, right as winter's hitting, right? Number two, the United States, of course, is right in the middle of this mess as well. We're always in the middle of everything. You can trust us to protect the borders of Israel, of Ukraine, of South Korea, of Taiwan, of everybody except our home country, which y'all know it's maddening, right? But we keep dragging ourselves into these conflicts, and these conflicts, they're going to turn into major boots on the ground campaigns. And the whole time I'm sitting here literally doing it, right, scratching my head thinking, we don't have that many boots to put on the ground. We're way under in terms of enlistment and recruitment. Right now, I think at least the Army, I'm not sure about the other branches, the Army's offering up to, I don't know what up to means and what it means to qualify for that, $50,000 to sign up for the Army, and they still are not, they're way below hitting their recruitment numbers. So right now they're using the carrot, but at some point, if we don't have enough people to fight, I fully expect them to start using the stick, which would mean a draft, conscription, something like this. So just something to pay attention to. The more crap that we get tangled up in, the higher the likelihood is that they're going to have a draft at some point. But anyway, total chaos, right? No, what's new? Total chaos here in the United States and abroad. Folks, let me know what you think in the comments. Again, thank you for being here. Please understand the content's not going to be hitting daily, because as I explained before, I'm just not interested in being plugged into the internet 24/7 or whatever it is, crazy 7 hours or whatever a day. But y'all take care and God bless.